If no one was watching, be honest, would you still keep going? Not in strength, because that's where the truth lives. Not in motivation, but in what you do when nobody sees you. You wake up tired, not the kind of tired sleep can fix, the kind that sits in your chest and makes breathing feel heavier than it should. Your body moves, questioning everything, but your mind drags behind, and still you move, not because you feel strong, but because stopping feels worse than continuing. Not because you believe today will be better. That's what they don't understand. They see discipline. They see focus just to stay standing. They see control. They don't see the war it takes. They don't see the silent negotiations you make with yourself just to get through the day. When everything inside you wants to shut down, the promises, the threats, the exhaustion, just rest from being you. How many times have you wanted to disappear, not die? Rest from carrying expectations. Rest from pretending you're okay. Rest from holding it together. You carry things you never talk about. When it feels like you're coming apart inside, thoughts you bury, memories you avoid, feelings you lock away, because explaining them would take more energy than you have left. So you stay quiet, you nod, and people call that strength. But silence isn't strength. You smile when necessary. It's survival. You adapted to it. You learned how to function under pressure, how to keep going while breaking slowly, and adaptation leaves scars. No one notices. No one claps for. No one thanks you for. Some days you don't feel brave. You don't feel motivated. You don't feel inspired. You just feel unfinished. Like something inside you is still bleeding, still unresolved. Quitting feels tempting. Letting go feels easier. But living with that decision, so you wake up, that would destroy you. Again, you drag yourself forward, even when there's no excitement, no hope, no clear reward waiting. You do what needs to be done, not for praise, not for recognition, not for anyone watching, but because you refuse to abandon yourself. Most people fight. That's the difference. Most people fight when they feel powerful, when they feel confident, when they feel supported. You fight when you feel empty, when you feel alone, when you feel like no one would notice. If you stop trying, and that takes a different kind of courage, there's a loneliness in that few people talk about, the kind where you're surrounded by people but still feel isolated, the kind where your battles are invisible and your strength goes unnoticed. You don't talk about it because you already know most people wouldn't understand. They'd offer advice, they'd minimize it. They'd tell you to stay positive, so you stop explaining. You stop expecting. You carry it yourself. You're not chasing a dream. You're protecting what's left of you, protecting your identity, your self-respect. Like that small part of you that still refuses to collapse. And sometimes that has to be enough. They won't understand why you keep going when there's no applause, why you don't stop when it clearly hurts, why you don't collapse like they think you should. They don't need to. This isn't about proving anything. It's not about winning. It's not about being admired. It's about staying alive on the inside when everything else feels heavy. It's about waking up tomorrow knowing it will still hurt and choosing to stand anyway. It's about carrying the weight without becoming bitter, without losing yourself completely. And if you're still here, still breathing, still moving forward, even slowly, that means something. It means you didn't give in to the quiet voice that told you to stop caring, to stop trying, to let yourself fade. You stayed, not because it was easy, not because it felt good, but because you understood something most people never will. Endurance isn't loud, it isn't dramatic, it doesn't look heroic, it's silent, it's lonely, it's choosing to continue when no one would blame you for quitting. So if today feels heavy, if you feel worn down, if you feel like you're carrying more than you should have to, remember this. You're not weak. You're not broken beyond repair. You're not failing. You're enduring. And sometimes that's the strongest thing a person can do.